Well, Merry Christmas Eve. I almost said Merry Christmas, but not quite yet. Well, I just got back, as many of you know, I just got back yesterday from my trip down to South Bend, Indiana, to visit the incredible museum down there, the History Museum, and also had a chance to tour the Oliver Mansion in South Bend as well. And as a very special, unexpected treat, had a chance to not only walk around the historic Singer cabinet factory that was established in the 1860s in South Bend, Indiana, and closed around 1955, but was actually able to get inside of it, as you'll see in some of my YouTube release videos. Unbelievable, the timing of things. Literally the morning I was getting ready to leave South Bend after the incredible hospitality that I received from the great folks at the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, wanted to just drive past that historic plant one last time just to get a glimpse of it, and happened to see a gentleman with the side door open to the newer edition throwing some trash out, and he looked like a maintenance engineer type guy. So I just decided to take a chance, and I decided to swing the car around and go over and connect with him real quick. His name is Anthony, and was amazed at his receptiveness to saying, no, I get it. My grandfather worked at the Studebaker factory, and I understand how important history is kind of what he said to me. And I'll get you into that old edition of Singer one way or another. And we tried a couple different routes and ran into a couple of walls, literally, but he finally got me in, and he really wanted to get me to the third floor of the Singer plant, but we couldn't get access to it. The one door that would allow us was stuck, and then he couldn't find his other keys. But he said, come back in the summertime, and I gave him my contact information, and I'll get you up onto the third floor where there are some Singer historical items still up there, and just a totally different vantage point of what the factory grounds look like. So how cool is that? So I'm going to be heading back to South Bend, Indiana this summer once Anthony finds his keys and invites me to officially come back and to tour the rest of the factory. Kind of a mixed message on the factory, which is kind of a bleak thing to share on Christmas Eve. But he said the owner, who lives down in Florida, is looking at one of two options. There's been historical people that have gone through and pointed to the incredible treasure that this building is, but the roof area has degraded to a point now where any inclement weather that passes through the South Bend, Indiana area is just saturating the bricks that are 160 years old, that are comprised of that brickwork, handmade, that came from the South Bend, Indiana area. And so they're either going to build some sort of a metal canopy over the top of the building and then try stabilizing it, because certain parts of it are becoming very unstable at this point, or they're exploring options of actually tearing the incredible structure down. Gosh, I hope that doesn't happen, don't you? And so as I was thinking about my entire trip, and I'll use the word that I love so much, in totality, as I was looking at my trip in totality and thinking about the wonderful people that I met at the History Museum in South Bend, the incredible tour that I got, the private tour from Skylar, who's just a wonderful person that acts as the curator of this incredible Oliver Mansion. And I'm not going to get the name right, but the roots of the word that described the mansion as well, Kopshahom, I think I'm pronouncing it right, is because the founder and the establisher of the company that bears his name has roots reaching back to Scotland, a small village in Scotland, which apparently is called Kopshahom, Scotland. So as I was looking at, okay, I'm coming up on 10,000 subscribers. It's going to be a historic marker, a milestone for my channel on YouTube. What should I consider doing as far as a contest? And as I thought about the contest ideas, lots of great ideas. And some of you have also chimed in and shared ideas, knowing that we're approaching that milestone as well of 10,000 subscribers. I thought, what can I do to kind of tie this into this incredible trip that I just had the opportunity of taking down to South Bend, Indiana, and visiting the History Museum, all of the incredible artifacts that the great folks there, Christy, Dunn, and Kat, and others had prepared for me. What can I do to kind of reflect back to those special moments that I had down in South Bend? And I thought, well, because it all ties into that incredible cabinet plant that was established back in the 1860s, closed 1955, excuse me. Why don't I try to tie the contest somehow into that? And so what I've decided to do is, I had the opportunity as well on that final visit where I had a chance to meet the keeper of the keys for that historic building, Anthony, and I was privileged to be able to gather some of those incredible bricks that made up that building, or I should say that make up that building. Let's not sign it off yet. So since I had a chance to gather up some of those historic 160-year-old bricks that comprise that historic building established back in the 1860s, I thought, why don't I come up with a way to do a contest and to benefit the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. So what I've decided to do, and yes, I'm down at one of my favorite places right now, down at the Bay of Green Bay, near the Causeway, which, yes, it's snow covered on Christmas Eve. I got up this morning and I looked out the window and I was like, no way, no way, yes way. We're going to have a white Christmas because the temperatures are going to stay cold enough that this snow that we now have covering the ground here in Oconto, Wisconsin. And I don't know if the good folks down in South Bend, Indiana are also going to have a white Christmas. I know that there was talk of snow coming into that area. So we'll see. I don't know. But I thought, here's what I want to do, because they were just so generous in their time, generous in preparing all of the incredible artifacts that I had a chance to share with all of you on Facebook in still shots. I thought I want to do something to help them out as well, because as Christy said to me, and Kat and others that I met, museums across the country are suffering right now. Many of them have not been able to open their doors again. Many of them, if they've opened their doors, so many folks are gun shy to come there and visit the museum and benefit the museum, that Christy told me that a huge number of museums across the country have closed their doors permanently. What a loss that is. I mean, think about it. Those communities that have those museums where the doors very likely will never open again. That is just downright sad. So as we are quickly approaching, we're only about 300 subscribers away from hitting the milestone on my YouTube channel of 10,000 subscribers. And I've already told you numerous times, because of the analytics that I can see behind the scenes, we have the equivalent of about 40 to 50,000 people visiting that channel every month. And actually, we've actually peaked higher to 100,000 unique visitors to the YouTube channel every single month. So a lot of those people have not clicked subscribe yet, but they're still engaged in the channel. And so I really want to point down to the great folks in South Bend, Indiana. I want to highlight the History Museum. I want to highlight the Oliver Mansion, Kopcha Home. You know what? And Skylar, if I'm saying it wrong, you could chime in on this premiere and say, Scott, you totally messed it up, buddy. Here's how you say it. But what I want to do is I want to do a contest built around all of the historical significance of South Bend, Indiana. And because I was able to grab some of these incredible, and I'm going to show it to you right now, and it's heavy. Because I was able to grab some of these historic bricks, I don't have a ton of them. And they're even stamped because they were made locally. But what I'm holding in my hand right now is about 160 years old. And I've got a bunch of these. And what I'd like to do for the contest for 10,000 subscribers, when we hit that milestone, sometime very likely after the first of the year, is anyone that's willing to contribute $100. It's not a lot of money, folks. Anyone that's willing to contribute $100 to the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana, I'm going to send you one of these historic bricks. And again, I've got a limited number of them, so the sooner you jump into the contest when it kicks off, the more likely you are to be able to get one of these bricks. But even if you don't get one of these bricks, you're going to be supporting a great cause down there. And so you've got to make a $100 donation to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana. And there's got to be a way to document it. I would rather not receive the money. I'd rather you send the money directly to those good folks. And then maybe Christy Dunn and her team down there can track it and can let me know, okay, yep, I got a donation from so-and-so. As soon as you make a donation, you're going to get entered into the contest to win an incredible original Singer sewing machine. And here's what I'm going to give you as a huge hint. And any of you that follow me faithfully are going to kind of know the track that I'm going on here. Because Mr. Oliver, is it J.D. Oliver? I'm pretty sure it's J.D. Oliver. Because J.D. Oliver is originally from Copchahome, Scotland, I'm going to be giving away an original Singer sewing machine that was manufactured in Scotland. Now, there's a number of great machines that Singer made in Scotland, but one that jumps off the pages for most of you probably should be the 222K, the free arm version of the featherweight. And I'm not saying to you that that's the machine that I'm going to give away. But if you enter the contest by making a $100 donation to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, you're going to get entered automatically to win the machine that I'm going to give away that is made in Scotland. And it might well be the 222K. I'm not going to say at this point. For every $50 donation you make beyond that to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, you're going to receive an additional entry. So you'll get entered, you make a $100 donation to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, and I'll send you one of these historic 160-year-old bricks that actually make up that historic building down in South Bend, where they were making 2 million incredibly ornate cabinets a year, averaging 10,000 a day. So you're going to receive a brick that no one else in the world has that actually come from that historic building. But if you make additional donations beyond that, for every $50 you donate beyond the $100 donation to the History Museum, to those good folks in South Bend, Indiana, you're going to get entered again. So if you make, say, a $200 donation to the History Museum down in South Bend, you're going to receive a total of 4 entries to win an incredible Singer vintage machine that was made in Scotland. And it might be that 222K. So you don't want to miss out on this, because once I close that contest and I officially announce what that machine is going to be, there's no second chances. Anyone that's donated to benefit this great museum down in South Bend, Indiana, is going to have a swing at winning this incredible machine. All I'm going to say is that whatever machine I settle on, whether it's the 222K or another machine, you are going to be the envy of the world. And anyone around the world can enter this contest. Now, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious in saying I'll send you a brick, but I might do it. You never know. I might send you a brick as well, even if you're over in Australia or over in the UK, as a lot of our followers are, or over in France or Italy or anywhere else. We have regular folks jump into our premieres, just like this premiere right now. So I have no doubt that some of you are watching from around the world right now and are saying, yeah, I would love to have a brick from the original structure in South Bend, Indiana, where they made all of those cabinets, about $2 million a year, 10,000 a day. And Scott's going to mail me one of these historic bricks. Plus, I'm going to be benefiting a great cause of supporting the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. And if I give extra money beyond that, for every $50 beyond the $100 of getting entered into this contest, I'm going to get an additional entry So I've got a greater likelihood of winning that incredible machine that Scott's going to give away. How cool is that? How cool is this contest? I think it's really fantastic. And I'm really glad that the good folks down in South Bend at the History Museum were so gracious in inviting me to come down and prepared the artifacts and gave me a private tour of the Oliver Mansion and everything else that happened when I was down there, because that really inspired this next contest that is going to happen when we hit 10,000 subscribers. So jump into this. Not only can you throw your hat into the ring by making a simple $100 donation, and it's not even going to hit your pocketbook, because in all likelihood there's going to be another stimulus check coming out for around $600. And so you could say, you know what, so I don't impact my budget around the holidays, because we're very likely going to hit 10,000 subscribers sometime in January, probably in January, very likely. And you're still going to have some of those bills coming in from Christmas and that. But if you get a stimulus check, or if you get a refund, let's just say you get a stimulus check for $600, you could get 6 entries into this contest, because you'll make your initial $100 donation to the History Museum and then be able to make 5 additional donations beyond that. And again, $100 donation gets you in the contest. For every $50 beyond that you give to the History Museum, you get another entry each and every time. No cap on it. No cap. So if you give $1,000 to the History Museum and we can document that it was given as a result of this contest to get you entered, guess what? You're going to have a great likelihood of winning that incredible machine, which very well could be a 222K. And you already know the quality of my machines, the caliber of my machines, museum quality machines. You don't want to miss out on this, folks. So let me restate it again, since I'm just coming off of my car leg of going all the way down to South Bend, which is about 6 hours down, 6 hours back. Plus I have to drive through Chicago. It's crazy. But the contest that I plan on doing when this YouTube channel hits 10,000 subscribers is going to be centered around benefiting my good friends down at the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana. I'm hoping we make just a ton of money for them. I really do. And the way you get in the contest is, once I officially announce it, once we've hit that milestone of 10,000 subscribers, you make a $100 donation to the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. And Christy Dunn would be a great contact if you want to, how do I do this? How do I route my money? How do I make sure that I get credit for it so that I can get entered into this contest that Scott's going to do to give away this incredible Scottish Singer machine, which very well might be that 222K that everyone in the world wants. Everybody wants it. Everybody does. But if you make that $100 donation, you're in the contest. For every additional $50 you give to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, you get an additional entry. An additional entry. So if you give $200, you get 4 entries. It's that simple. If you give $400, you get, 8 entries into the contest. And I'm probably going to see if Christy or Kat or one of those good folks down there, when we finalize the contest, it's closed, all the entries have been made, all the donations have been made to the History Museum down in South Bend. Again, don't send the money to me. Send it directly to those folks and use Christy Dunn as a point of contact. And that way we know that the money gets there safe. We know that you get credit for it. We know that we can get you entered into this contest where you could potentially win a 222K. It's going to be a Scottish machine for sure. And I'm very seriously considering giving away a 222K that I currently have in my personal collection. The featherweight of featherweights, folks. The featherweight convertible, the featherweight that everybody in the world wants. And you can have one. Plus, if there's, unless you live on the moon, I'm going to get you one of these original bricks, 160 years old. And again, I've only got a certain number of them. So you're going to get a historic brick from the original Singer building in South Bend where they made all of those cabinets. $2 million a year. They made, on average, 10,000 incredible ornate Singer cabinets that housed the Singer machines. And even though it was a cabinet furniture making company for Singer, they had a lot of machines there as well, because the machines that were distributed through the different networks around South Bend, they actually put machines into those cabinets as they were being made at the factory there. So there were Singer sewing machines there, not made there, but they were put into these incredible cabinets. And if you Google original Singer cabinets made in South Bend, Indiana, many of them made from black walnut, because there's so much black walnut trees in that area down there. These are cabinets that I can't even describe to you how majestic and how beautiful they were. And how they are. I mean, a number of people still have them. And we looked at some of them, even when I was reviewing the artifacts that Kat and Christy prepared for me for my visit down there. But why wouldn't you want to support a great company, a great mission like this, the History Museum down there, when they are stepping into the corner to preserve incredible artifacts that tie to Singer and a number of other vintage and antique sewing machine manufacturers. We saw other machines down there as well during my visit that are not Singer specific. So across the board, these folks are stepping into the corner to say, we want to protect these treasures. So we got to support them, folks. We got to step out there and support them. And not only are you going to be supporting them, not only are you going to receive a historic brick from the factory itself. I mean, 160-year-old brick, folks. It's something that you could put into your personal collection that no one else that you meet is going to have. They're just not going to have it. But beyond that, then you can get your name entered to win a drop-dead gorgeous machine that I'm going to give away that's going to be from Scotland and very well may be a 222K. Jump on this, folks, as soon as I announce it, because, again, I've got a limited number of these bricks. I can only get so many in my car. You know what I mean? I'm going through these toll booths and the person's a little bit higher up than me and they're looking in my car and going, what is that dude doing with all those bricks in the car? What is he doing with all those bricks? But this is all I have. Let me show you. This is all I have for bricks, folks. So the sooner you get your donation to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, use Christy Dunn as a contact, and you say, okay, I'm officially in. I'll be sending you one of these bricks. When I run out, I run out. And I'm going to hang on to some of them because I'd love for Hans to have one over in Norway. I would love for Sonny to have one out in Pennsylvania. I would love for Bill to have one down in Kissimmee, Florida. And I'd like to keep one for myself. Just a little bit selfish, you know? But even if you don't get a brick, and when I go back there this summer, if Anthony will allow me, I'll scoop up some more bricks. If some of you that entered the contest to benefit the History Museum didn't get a brick, I will try to get you a brick. I promise you that. I'll get you a brick. The boys and I will get you a brick, I promise. Okay, one way or another. If we have to sneak in there at nighttime with a flashlight with Anthony and me, you know, when we're hauling bricks and we're loading them into my car and we're watching for the cops and stuff, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. No, we don't have to do that because Anthony is buds with the owner of the building that lives in Florida. So we're good. But keep watch for this contest, folks. It's going to be huge. You're going to be benefiting the History Museum. You're going to be potentially getting a 160-year-old brick that comes right from the building where they built these incredible cabinets in South Bend. Plus, you're going to be getting your name into the contest to potentially win a 222K. But by all means, an incredibly drop-dead museum quality machine that was made in Scotland. So watch for it. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve is the day that I'm shooting this premiere right now. And hopefully you're having a chance to watch it this evening. If I get it uploaded, otherwise it's going to be uploaded soon enough. But keep watch for this, okay? It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So God bless you and take care. The best of New Year to you, which is going to be anything we get in 2021 is going to be better than 2020 with all of the COVID stuff we've had. Let's get that behind us. And let's step into the new year with the idea of preserving and conserving incredible artifacts that tie us to our vintage love of sewing machines, and also supporting these good folks down at South Bend, and also you potentially winning a historic machine as well. How cool is this? It's cool! All right, see you guys. Take care.